Hello and welcome to Kitchen Meta. Today we're doing something a little bit different, a little more spontaneous. We're trying out Hearthstone, which trying out. I've been playing Hearthstone Classic for a long time, but we're trying out actually streaming it and showing it on the channel. It's a bit different than most things I plan to present on the channel because mostly I think I will be talking about games that are originally physical, even though we're playing them on the computer. And Hearthstone is a digital card game, but it's really nice because it's something I can do more spontaneously because I don't need to find an opponent ahead of time, and it suits what I want to or what I like to play, which is limited formats. So if you play Hearthstone Classic, it's only the first well, the basically the original release of the game with no expansions at the very end, when they had done some patches for the first sets. And if you don't know, the game is as I said, it's a digital card game. You buy digital booster packs of random cards, and you can buy them with in-game gold that you can earn in several ways by playing, or you can pay with real money. And normally, I would never anymore recommend someone to get into a game that has a business model that uses booster packs, because it's basically designed to make it hard for you to get a full collection and make it very expensive. And so, it's just a bad experience for the user. But if you play something like Hearthstone Classic and you don't spend money on it, it's still, you can enjoy it. They put a few hurdles to actually get to a point where you can play the classic mode. You have to go through some tutorials and stuff. But once you get there, you have at least some basic cards that you can use that you get for free, and then you can build your collection over time. So as long as you enjoy the game, it's kind of cool and fun. And actually, I tried playing the classic format with just some basic cards at one point, and you can actually win games with just the basic cards, which maybe you'd think you'd get crushed every game, but that's not the case. So you can have fun, and you can slowly get cards. So as long as you enjoy playing like that, it's worth it. And I would say also, you can slowly work towards a collection. If you're not in a hurry, then you can work towards a collection without spending a bunch of money on booster packs, which is what I want to enjoy or is what I want to do when I play a card game. That's why I think a business model like Android Netrunner has it, where you buy expansions instead, is really what you want to go for. So what I mean is, you in Android Netrunner, you buy a core set of cards where you get a full playset of all of the cards, or actually not in the core sets, but in general with the expansions, you get a full playset of the cards, so that if you have bought all the expansions, you can build any deck you want. So it's very different from a trading card game or a booster pack based card game, where you find yourself having to buy a lot of packs just to get the rare cards in those booster packs. So yeah, in general, I recommend the expansion model. But if you are going to play a booster pack based game, then do it in a limited format kind of way, like classic format, where it's only a particular set of cards. And that's what I've tried to do with other card games at home as well. Play the Yu-Gi-Oh in a closed format, play the World of Warcraft TCG, but only using the first couple of sets. The Harry Potter TCG was basically the same. I could get into it because it was only 5 sets of cards, although now the cards are really expensive. So yeah, that was my my rant on pricing models for card games. So today, the plan for the Hearthstone streams is just to have some pretty chill gameplay, but I think I'm gonna talk briefly about the decks that I play. And today, the first thing I'll do is I'll just play a game and try to explain the rules of the game pretty quickly. And I'm trying to complete my quests in the game that will give me more gold so that I can get more packs. And it's not because I need more cards. I already have all the classic cards, but I can upgrade them to shinier golden versions of themselves if I get more gold. So that's what I'll be trying to do today. So let's just get into a game. I'll quickly explain the rules, and then my plan is that we're gonna switch up the decks. I'll show some decks real quick. If anyone wants a clarification on anything, then I will definitely give that. But it's gonna be pretty relaxed today. I probably, just like in the Harry Potter streams, will give some spontaneous thoughts on the matchup or whatever. Most of the Hearthstone Classic is very, I would say, dissimilar from the Harry Potter TCG in that it has been played so much by so many people that it is way more figured out than Harry Potter TCG Classic, I would say. So a lot of the deck archetypes are incredibly established and figured out, but that doesn't mean that there's not room for any experimentation. So we're up against Warlock, and typically the most common way that Warlock is built is playing a kind of deck where you try to overwhelm your opponent with minions. Now I realize that I need to explain the rules first, so let me do that before I start talking about minions and stuff. Yeah, so first in the game, you get your hand of cards, and you can select cards that you don't want in your hand, and then those will be replaced with random cards from your deck. Your deck is 30 cards. On this side of the board, you can see stuff that minions that your opponent has played. Down here, you have what is called your mana crystals. Those are used to play cards. The cards have their mana crystal cost up in the left corner. So that is how many mana crystals you need to be able to play that card. Now, I'm just gonna do my turn. So I'm gonna use a spell called the Coin. It costs 0 mana crystals and gives me an extra crystal for the turn. And then I played a spell that gives me an empty mana crystal. So you can see that I have 2 now. So at the start of every turn, you're going to gain another mana crystal until you have 10. Then you stop getting extra mana crystals. Yeah, that's basically how the mana works. And they so when you use mana crystals, they empty. Like if I play this Harvest Golem, as you can see, the mana crystals light up, and when I play the Harvest Golem, then they become empty. But they will fill up every turn. And let's say I had 6 crystals, then I could play a Harvest Golem and then still have 3 crystals left over to use. So these minions that we're playing, they have an attack value down in the bottom left corner, and then a health value down in the bottom right corner. And minions, they can't attack the turn that you play them, but after that they can attack once per turn. And if they attack the hero, which is this your opponent's guy over here, and this guy over here is my hero, the druid here, then they deal their damage to that hero. If they attack each other, then they deal the minions will deal damage to each other. Okay, so now it's my turn. So I can spend my 4 mana crystals to play this Keeper of the Grove, and he lets me choose one of 2 things. One of those things is to do 2 damage. So I chose to do 2 damage to this Flame Imp and get rid of it. And as you can see, there's a health value on your hero as well. So you start with 30 life, and then if you get your opponent's hero to 0 life, then you win the game. And there's also yeah, I'm getting slaughtered here. Sorry, now I'm thinking. Yeah, so now you can see my Keeper of the Grove here is highlighted green, which means he's able to attack this turn. Same with the cards in your hand. The cards you can play are highlighted green. And spell cards, so there's minions and then there's spell cards. The spell cards, they are things that you play, and they give you like a one-time effect, and then they're gone. So let me see here. Also, you play with different classes, so your hero can be 9 different classes. That affects what cards you can put in your deck. And also, each class has a different hero power that you can use once each game, and that costs 2 mana. So in this case, I have a shapeshift ability. Okay, so now I definitely have to do my turn.
For the wild, feel nature's
Yeah, so I'm not really, because I'm explaining the rules, I'm not really explaining how I'm playing, but basically I'm just trying to not die. I'm getting kind of overrun this game. But those are basically the rules of the game. The rest is kind of details. Like, of course, the minions, they can have different abilities and stuff. Like this knife juggler says, after you summon a minion, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. And then you have this young priestess that gives another random minion +1 health at the end of turn. At the end of your turn. But yeah, let me just, I guess I can demonstrate the hero power. So this one, it gives me 1 armor and 1 attack. So now my hero can attack because he has an attack value now for the turn. And armor is like health on top of your health, except you can't heal it. And now I'm going to concede because if my opponent attacks with these minions, actually I'll just show it. If my opponent attacks with these minions, then I'll be dead. So normally I would just concede, but just to show people who haven't played this game before. And yeah, so again, the classic format is pretty well explored, but I would say it's a really solid design. There's a lot of different decks you can play and toy around with, and it's just a pretty fun casual game. But don't spend a bunch of money on it unless you really want to. All right. So I believe I finished. No, I didn't. All right. So I'm gonna just show the Druid deck that I just played to casual game. Yeah. I'm just gonna show the Druid deck that I just played. So this one is pretty normal Druid deck. As I said, there's 9 classes, so you can see there's Warrior, there's Warlock, there's Rogue, there's Priest, Druid, Shaman, Warlock, Hunter, Mage, Paladin. I believe that's all of them. So in the classic version, there's 9 classes, and the difference between the classes is they have different hero powers, but also when you're building a deck, as you can see up here, there's different symbols. Each of these symbols is a different class. So the cards that you collect, some of them are specific to a class, that only one class can use them. So the different classes, they have access to different cards, and also they have a different hero power. So this will affect how you build the different classes. And then over here, there are some generic cards that can be used by any class. Other than that, I guess some stuff, if you're deck building, I can show, I guess, with the Druid deck, is that if you look at scenarios over here, you see that he has an orange crystal underneath his name, and that is to show that he's a legendary card. So legendary cards you can only have 1 copy of in your deck, and there are also more rare in the card packs. It's the most rare type of card. Then you have this Ancient War, for example, that has a purple stone or crystal, whatever you want to call it. And that one means that it's an epic card, which is the step below legendary. And then these 3 are all epic. And then let's find a rare card. This one has a blue crystal, and that is the step below epic. And then you have, let's see, Harvest Golem, which has a white stone. And that means that it's common, which is the lowest rarity. Unless you count the basic cards, which are the cards that you just get for free once you've done the tutorials. So like Wild Growth, for example, it doesn't have a rarity because it's not a card that you get from the card packs in the game. And so these rarities are how hard it is to get them, or how likely it is to get them in a pack. But also there's a system in the game where you can like destroy cards called disenchanting them, and then they become dust. And then that dust can be used to make other cards. Now this is pretty inefficient. I don't know exactly how, but like you would, for example, need to make multiple common cards into dust to be able to craft another common card. So it's not efficient. It's typically something you use with leftover cards. But that determines how the rarity of the card determines how much dust you get from it when you destroy it, and then when you make a card, the rarity of the card that you're making determines how much dust it's going to cost you to make that card. So that's just some quick stuff about making cards. Anyway, so this Roar Druid, this is a very established archetype in the game. Nowadays, a lot of people build this in a more aggressive way, which may be better, so they have more cheap cards in the deck. But this one plays... I'm just going to go over the cards really quickly, but basically, Druid is making use of the fact that it can kind of cheat with the mana crystals and get extra mana crystals ahead of time, or in the case of Innervate, you can get 2 extra mana crystals for just for 1 turn. And they're also making use of a really powerful combination between a card called Force of Nature that summons, that gives you 3 Trance with 2 attack and 2 health that have charge, which means they can attack the same turn that you play them. And you can combine this with a card called Savage Roar that gives all your characters +2 attack for a turn. And that means that all the Trons are going to have 4 attack, plus your hero will also get 2 attack. And when you attack your opponent's hero with that, that's 14 damage. Which means that if your opponent ever gets to 14 health or below, they're in danger of just immediately losing to this combo as soon as you reach 9 mana. So that is the power of Druid sort of explained in a kind of quick fashion. They also have some other really powerful cards in here, so let us go over them. So Innervate it costs 0 mana. It's a spell that gives us 2 extra mana crystals for the turn only. We have Blood Mage Thalnos, which costs 2 mana, 1 attack, 1 health. He gives us spell damage +1, which means when our spells deal damage, they do 1 extra damage. So this can be combined with some of the spells in our deck, but also he has a Death Rattle, which is an ability that triggers when the minion dies. And in this case, it gets us a card back. So he's really good because, we're never really losing a card playing him. Because, whenever he dies, we just get the card back. So it's a very low commitment to play this guy. And he can make a difference when we play our spells so that we're killing an extra minion with our spell. And then we have Power of the Wild that can give our minions +1/+1, +1 health, +1 attack, or lets us summon a 3 attack, 2 health Panther. So Power of the Wild can be combined with our Violet Teacher over here that says whenever we cast a spell, we summon a 1/1 Violet Apprentice. And this is really nice because when we play Power of the Wild, let's say, and we want to give +1/+1 to all our minions, the apprentice will be summoned first, and then the bonus will be applied. So we will get a 2/2 apprentice in that case. And then we have Wild Growth, as mentioned, that gives us an empty mana crystal. So that allows us to play our more expensive card faster. So we're gaining time. We're losing a card, but we're gaining a lot of time. And we have Wrath. And this, again... this is a common theme with the Druid cards, that it says choose one. So it gives us a flexibility of choice in what we want to do with the card. And that makes Druid decks pretty versatile. That they have these cards that can fill different roles depending on the situation. So we have Wrath. It's a spell that can deal 3 damage to a minion or 1 damage and we draw a card. So versatile again. We have Harvest Golem. This is just a minion that's hard to get rid of, which is why we like it. 2 attack, 3 health, Death Rattle. We summon a 2/1 damaged golem. So if they kill this, we still get a 2 attack, 1 health golem. So it's hard to, it's not that easy to completely clean the board when we play this. We have Savage Roar that I already explained. Keeper of the Grove, which is another card that lets us choose between 2 abilities, which are both really useful. One ability to deal 2 damage, which is especially good against decks that try to overwhelm us with a lot of small minions. Then you can play this guy and immediately get rid of one of those minions that has 2 health or less. And the other one that allows us to silence the minion, which silence means that we basically remove all the effects on that minion. So if there's like a bonus attack or a special ability on the minion, then that is gone. And against some minions, that is really impactful. Let me give an example. For example, there's a card called Twilight Drake. Yeah, this one. So when you play Twilight Drake, it gets +1 health for each card in your hand, but its base health is just 1. But if you silence the Twilight Drake, it goes back to 1 health. So it might be at like 6 or 7 health, you know, depending. It can be as high as, I guess the maximum hand size is 10 cards, I think. So I guess 11 health is No, sorry. Yeah, then 10 health is the maximum, because if you play this, then you're going to have 9 in your hand. So that then silencing it with Keeper of the Grove would actually be an 8 health swing. So that's just to demonstrate how impactful silencing can be. So having the choice between the two is really good. And then we have Swipe that deals 4 damage to an enemy and 1 damage to all other enemies. So this is great to kill off a bunch of small minions. But the fact that it also deals 4 damage to one target means that we can kill something big and also some smaller things. And if we combine this with Blood Mage Thalnos, of course, then we can do 2 damage to everything and 5 damage to one thing, which is really powerful. We have Azure Drake. It's kind of similar to Thalnos in that it's a low commitment. We pay 5 mana, we get a 4 attack, 4 health minion with spell damage +1, just like Thalnos, but also with the Battle Cry, we get a card immediately, which is really good. We have Druid of the Claw. That is we pay 5 mana and it's a 4/4, but we have 2 choices again. It can get charged, which means it can attack immediately, or it can have +2 health and taunt. So taunt means that your opponent has to attack it before attacking your non-taunt things. So it's like a wall that you can put up between, well, your other minions and your hero. So it's a way to, force your opponent to interact with your minions. And then Force of Nature that I explained. But Force of Nature is also more versatile. You don't have to use it for the kill combo. You can also just summon the Trance with charge and then have them attack some other minions. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the Trance die at the end of turn, so you better make sure that you make use of them the turn you play it. And one of the most powerful cards in the deck, I guess, is Ancient of Lore. Another choose one card. But here, clearly the most powerful effect of the two is to draw 2 cards. But it can also restore 5 health to a minion. So it's quite... Oh, sorry. It restores 5 health to any target. So it can heal your hero. And yeah, it's just really nice to have that flexibility. Because, it might be that you're up against a deck that where you don't really care about the cards. You just desperately need the health. Then we have Ancient of War. Similar to Druid of the Claw, it can become 2 different things. So this one can have +5 attack, or it can have +5 health and taunt. Typically, we make it into a taunt minion, so it becomes like a huge wall that's really hard to get through. We're playing 2 of those. Actually, we're playing 2 of all the cards except the 2 legendaries in the deck. And then the last one is Scenarios, which is another choose one a card that where we can choose between giving our other minions +2/+2, or we can summon 2/2 Trance with taunt. So again, just a flexible card, and this is the most expensive one we're playing. So that is the deck we're playing today. I figure I'll play a few more games. And also I realized there were some rules that I didn't go over, so I'll explain them really quickly when I get into this next game. Let me get some water.
Malfuria versus Rexar. Let the hunt begin. I must protect the wild.
And I also want to point out that today on Kitchen Meta, we are actually in the kitchen. So the name is more fitting than ever. We're up against Hunter. Most commonly, Hunter plays in a very straightforward and stupid way, where they only care about dealing damage to your hero. They don't care that much about card advantage. They just try to kill you as quickly as possible. So all the cards that slow that idea down is what we want. And also we are more okay against Hunter to trade card advantage in order to save hit points on our hero. The reason this strategy fits so well for Hunter is because they have a hero power that says deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. So you're incredibly incentivized to make a deck that just tries to just deal a lot of damage to their hero, because that's what your hero power is doing as well. So anything that synergizes with that makes sense naturally. So I'm gonna summon a Panther. He played a Knife Juggler here, and I just wanted to put something on the board that can trade with the Knife Juggler to get it off the board. This is something I didn't explain. There are spells that are so-called secrets, and those are spells that after you play them, they become a question mark on top of your hero, and they work in a special way where just hold on a second. I'm just gonna do my turn. Okay. I played things in that order for a special reason, but anyway, so yeah, so they become question marks. And then the secrets are things that can be triggered on your opponent's turn. So, and I don't know what the secret is, and there are several options. I know what all the options are, but I don't know which one he played. So I have to sort of play around the possibilities, and slowly by doing different things you may figure out which one it is, because the secrets, they have different trigger conditions, of course. So there is one that triggers when I attack one of his minions, and because it didn't trigger just now, I know that it's not that one. Okay, so now he played this bow. That says when a secret is revealed, it gets +1 durability. Oh, I haven't explained weapons. So weapons are things that like you equip to your hero. You pay the mana cost up in the corner, and those allow your hero to attack, and it will deal the amount of damage that is listed on the weapon. Or the hero gets that attack for the duration of the attack. But every time you attack with it, it loses 1 durability. So eventually the weapon will run out and it will be gone. But in this case, if a secret is revealed, it gets +1 durability, so it lasts longer. So I'm in a bit of a pickle now, because I kind of want to attack and trigger his secret. And now I'm running out of time as well. I think I'll just attack him anyway. No, I'll relax. I feel like there's no need to trigger his secret right away. I'll just keep these minions on the board to... yeah, if I trigger the secret, the bow gets 1 extra durability. And I feel like I want more time. So there is... there is one secret that if I trigger it, then it deals 2 damage to all my characters. So that one becomes worse the further the game goes on, or the longer the game goes on. I think I still have to attack his hero eventually. It could, yeah. So this is the one that I thought that deals 2 damage to all my characters, and this means his bow gets 1 more durability, which I don't like, but And I want to get rid of this gnome. So I'm in need of healing now, and I'm in need of taunt minions. I think now my original idea was correct. Like maybe I just need to wait long enough for my yeah, I think this is the thing about playing this game is like you start getting some intuition, and then if you don't play it often enough, then you sort of forget about it. But I think, yeah, I think what I should have done is I should have waited until I had enough mana to start playing my taunt minions, and just trade his minions in the meantime and just build my board, because it becomes hard for him to get through these big taunt minions, and then I can maybe slow the game down. I can start healing myself with Ancient of Lore. But now I'm still not able to play the Ancient of War this turn, and he has put a lot of damage on me. So I'm gonna use the Force of Nature just to get rid of these hounds and put damage on him. But we might be dead already this turn. Actually, I don't think he can kill us this turn, but it may be close. So it looks like he's thinking. Okay, so he wants to use the bow. Yeah, so essentially, like, attacking and triggering the secret was us taking 5 extra damage that we didn't need to take. So we would buy more time if we didn't trigger it. Okay, here we go. So he simply attacked us with the bow and used the hero power. So here our options are: we can heal with the Ancient of Lore. Would put us at 11. Should be unlikely that he can kill us then. Same if we play the Ancient of War, but there are ways that we could lose. There are some direct damage spells that he could use. So I'm trying to figure out which one is safest. Because he just dealt 5 damage to us and we can heal back up to 11. It's kind of weird that he didn't play anything else. Okay, I'm gonna play the Ancient of War to try to stop the damage. I don't know if it's correct. It seems like it's not, because yeah, the greetings usually mean that you lost. Yeah, okay. That sucks. Well, there you go. This is you guys are learning with me. So we just play again. All right, let's see if we can play better this time. Okay, playing against Warrior. Usually, Warrior is playing what is called a Control Warrior, where you're playing very patiently, slowly. You have a lot of good, cheap ways to get rid of your opponent's minions, and you drag the game out, and you eventually win with a combination of powerful legendary cards. And because you drag the game out, you're more likely to actually see those legendary cards. So, and this kind of works because Warrior has an ability, hero a power to give them 2 extra armor. And they also have some really good ways to get rid of minions.
My greeting.
And yeah, so the rules that I forgot to mention is that yeah, the maximum cards you can have in your hand is 10. So if you're about to draw a card,
My greetings.
if you're about to draw a card and you already have 10 cards in your hand, then the card that you would have drawn, it's lost. It doesn't happen a lot, but it's something to know. And also, if you run out of cards, so you have 0 cards in your deck and you're supposed to draw, they have something called fatigue. And fatigue means instead of getting a card, you take damage. The first time you do that, you take 1 damage, and every time it increases by 1. So the first card you can't draw, that's 1 damage, then it's 2 damage, then it's 3 damage, and so on. So if you run out of cards, you don't lose immediately, but you slowly take damage. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. It's really not our day today. Okay. So it seems like he's playing... so this is kind of old school, playing the Frothing Berserker. This 3/2 for 3, that when a minion takes damage, the Frothing Berserker gets +1 attack. I'd say that's the old style of this deck. But it is kind of annoying for us. We didn't draw things that we can play early, really. And so we're sort of left at the mercy of this. I could coin here and kill it, but that seems seems like a waste. Maybe that's what I should do still. I'll try it. Yeah, I mean, probably not the best idea. I just figured that this opens up the possibility here for us to play this guy and do 2 damage to the Armor Smith, and then this guy is threatening to get rid of the Armor Smith. This one is kind of annoying. It gives him an extra armor whenever it takes damage. So we did get rid of it, but yeah. So we did kind of an even trade, but we lost our coin. Oh yeah, that's another thing I didn't mention. So if you go second, then you get this coin, which is a spell that gives you an extra mana crystal for a turn. So it's like half of an innervate. And you also get an extra card. So that's the compensation you get for being 1 turn behind. And I would say it's more fair than a lot of games. Like the Harry Potter TCG is completely unfair in how it handles who gets to play their stuff first. Like there's no compensation in the Harry Potter TCG if you don't add house rules like I have. But in Hearthstone they added a seemingly pretty fair rule where it's like you get an extra card, which is really important, and you also get the coin that can offset this the fact that you're behind 1 mana. And also the coin can actually be combined with some other cards that trigger when spells are played. Okay, so you play this Cairn Bloodhoof, a really good legendary that when it dies, he summons another 4/5 creature called Bane Bloodhoof. So it's annoying because it's hard to get rid of. When I'm thinking I'll try to get rid of it. And today, I'm not focusing as much on the quality of my play as just talking about the game. So If I fuck up, I'm sorry, but the main idea here is to just talk about the game. And now he played this Baron Geddon that deals 1 damage to all other characters at end of turn. So he was able to clean up the board very efficiently. Oh, that's bad. I could play the Ancient of War. Yeah, he's right about that. It's not right. Could play the Ancient of War just to put up a big wall. The only problem is Warrior has a way that to get rid of big minions, which is it's not that unlikely that he has access to that right now. And our other options is using Force of Nature to get rid of the Baron Geddon. We could also play the Ancient of Lore and get 2 cards. It's not too bad. Because yeah, it's if he gets rid of this with the combo, then we are gaining cards relative to him. He might still do it, but at least it's not as bad that way. Okay, so he's doing it this way. That is something he could not have done to the Ancient of War. Okay, so now we have to be careful because we're really low on life. We could just be dead next turn. So we can use Wrath to get rid of Bane. We can use Force of Nature to get rid of Baron Geddon. And I think that's what we absolutely have to do. There's still a combo he could use to kill us next turn. But we're just going to be hoping, I suppose. Play the Force of Nature. Yeah, so we're in a really rough spot. And if he has the right cards, we die here. But if he doesn't, then... Okay, he plays another one. This guy, he deals 8 damage to a random enemy at the end of turn. So he doesn't kill us, but we're still in a terrible position here.
What to do?
Yeah, it's not great. I think this is maybe the best chance. Play scenarios and get 2 taunt minions, so it's hard for him to attack us directly. And that also means that Ragnaros has a lot of targets that are not our hero. Because obviously if Ragnaros hits our hero, then we lose. Okay, he plays the Armor Smith, then Whirlwind that... Oh. Okay, this is looking very bad. Yeah, okay. Alright, never mind. He just had a way to clean that up. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because we don't know what he has. Like, I could have played the Violet Teacher, and then the Harvest Golem, and Power of the Wild as well. But then if he has a Fiery War Axe or something, we still lose. Alright, this is the losing spree stream. Alright, let's try it again. Actually, let's check. Okay, I'm gonna play a deck that I think is more fun. I want to show it first. So this one is is more of a homebrew deck, so kind of unorthodox. People have played similar things, of course, but it's a mage deck. Mage has a hero power that allows you to do 1 damage to something, and this just plays very aggressively. So you're trying to play cheap minions to deal damage early, and you're trying to draw a lot of cards, and then you're trying to use direct damage spells to finish them off. So you have this leper gnome guy that showed up before. It's just a cheap minion that also deals 2 damage to our opponent when he dies. And then we have this mage specific minion mana worm that says that whenever we cast a spell, it gets +1 attack. And then we have some cheap spells to be used with that, like mirror image that gives us 2/0/2 minions with taunt, so that allows us to prevent our opponent from trading off our minions and allow us to deal damage to their hero, like ignore their minions and just go for their hero. And also means it's harder for them to kill our minions with weapon cards because there are these taunt minions in the way. The arcane missiles dealing 3 damage randomly split among enemy characters. So it's 3 damage for 1 card, but you can combine it with other things that like Thalnos to have it deal extra damage. And we have Icelands that just deals damage to... it freezes a character, which means the character can't attack for a turn, but it also... you can play it on an already frozen character to deal 4 damage. So we can combine this with Frostbolt over here to deal a lot of damage for a small amount of mana. We just need a lot of cards to do it. So if we have like 2 Icelands and a Frostbolt, we can deal 11 damage for just 1 mana. We have Thalnos that was also in the Druid deck. We have Knife Juggler, again the guy that after we summon a minion, we deal 1 damage to a random enemy, which is just a very strong ally in general, but we can combine this with Mirror Image to trigger him twice. And this also kind of synergizes with cards like Arcane Missiles that deal random damage. With enough random damage, you probably hit the stuff that you want to be hitting eventually. Unusually, and maybe I'll change this, we're playing Kobold Geomancer just for extra spell damage. Loot Hoarder is a way to play a minion but still get our card back if he dies, because we want to have a lot of... we want to draw a lot of cards so that we can play our direct damage spells. Sorcerer's Apprentice that makes our spells cost 1 less. So if we do that with the combo that I mentioned before, Frostbolt and 2 Icelands, we can actually play the Icelands for free when we have this in play. So we can pay just 1 mana to play all of those cards. We just need to have them in our hand. So that can be really powerful. Arcane Intellect, a spell that allows us to draw 2 cards, and then even more card draw. Cold Light Oracle that draws cards for both players when we play him. Fireball that just deals 6 damage, so we could just deal 6 damage to their hero or to a minion if we need to. Leroy Jenkins, a really aggressive ally. He has charge, so he can attack immediately. His drawback is that he gives our opponent 2 1/1 Welves, but he deals 6 damage, so he's kind of like a fireball. And then the Acer Drakes that you saw in the Druid deck also fits this because we have a lot of spells that deal damage, so the spell damage is relevant. All right, let's try some games with this one. So that's more of a homebrew kind of deck. I'm still fiddling around with it and thinking about maybe changing it. But it's really fun to play. You just get to be very aggressive and to just throw spells in your opponent's face. It's really fun to play. You just get to be very aggressive and to just throw spells in your opponent's face.
There is a simplicity in inevitability.
You asked for it.
Alright, so we're up against Warrior, which I actually think is one of the best matchups for this deck. Early on, we're looking for the cheap minions. We're only playing 4 of them. If we can draw them, that's really good. If we can't, that's unfortunate. Okay, we've got a mirror image. We could play this now, but I'm thinking we don't have to, because we can play the Sorcerer's Apprentice next turn and then play it for free. And that way we're kind of keeping our options open. Okay, so unfortunately, it would have been nicer to, of course, get the Leper Gnome right away. But the nice thing about this is that the warrior often has a card in hand early that's called Fiery War Axe. It's a weapon with 3 attack and 2 durability, so that is an easy way to get rid of minions. Yeah, and he has it here, as you can see. But because we played a mirror image, he can't get rid of what he would want to get rid of, which is the Sorcerer's Apprentice, the most important minion on the board. And so he used the axe to kill a mirror image instead, which is really good for us. I'm not even sure that's correct, but maybe like it's his only way to get through our minions. But yeah, this means the Sorcerer's Apprentice is surviving, and it might even survive. It might survive one more turn or even more, and then it gets to deal damage every time. And also the effect that our spells are cheaper just stays on the board, which is great. Ah, it's okay. So he's coining out this Kor'kron Elite with charge. Okay, and this now... because the Kor'kron Elite could get rid of the mirror image, this allows him to attack the Sorcerer's Apprentice. But we can get rid of this Elite by attacking with the Loot Hoarder, then using our hero power. And then my plan is... I think I want to play the Bludge Mage, because then next turn we could play both the Mana Worm and the Fireball if we want to.
Let the pain speak to me.
Okay, that's a little unfortunate. So he played this Acolyte of Pain, which when it takes damage, he draws a card. And then he played Whirlwind that deals 1 damage to everything. So both our minions died, and he got his card back. But we're trying to make the most of this. We're going to play the Cold Light Oracle. So we're both going to draw 2 cards. And then we'll play both of the Mana Worms. I guess that's the way to apply the most pressure. And it may look like he's winning, like he has a lot more cards. And he may win, but we have a lot of damage potential in our hand. And that should not be ignored.
Let the pain speak to me.
So that's really annoying that he played the Acolyte of Pain, because I kind of wanted to use this Arcane Missiles, and if we do it now, he's going to draw a lot of cards. Well, actually, maybe we don't care, now that I think about it, because if he draws so many cards... Yeah, actually, we don't mind. Because if he draws a bunch of cards here, his hand is going to fill up, and then he's going to start losing cards. We can't stop him from drawing at least 2 anyway, so we're going to make him draw like... at least an extra 1. Yeah, that seems fine. So we do this.
Time runs out on me.
So we gotta get rid of the Armor Smith. And we trigger this as many times as we can to make him lose more cards. Now he better have a good way to get rid of our minions, which he very well may have. Yeah, he plays Brawl, so that destroys all minions except one. But depending on what we draw, this might be okay. Okay, so we can play the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Then we can play the Fireball and use our hero power in the same turn. We pass to him. So we're actually threatening to win the game now, because we can do 6 with Leroy, 5 more with these, and use hero power. So he has to have a way to... Yeah, if he just like plays something and passes, then he will lose. So he needs to be careful here about how he does this. Okay, yeah, he's being careful.
This is your end.
Yeah, he's playing it well. We can make him overdraw again, so I guess let's do that. We're drawing more direct damage, that's nice. And then he's gonna overdraw again. It's kind of funny. But I don't think he's gonna run out of cards in his deck before the game is over, so it looks... It's more funny than it is good. Oh, that's interesting. That seems like a risky play. So we get a card back. Get a Knife Juggler. Okay, so how do we best deal with this? I think we do this. We tried to play Leroy right away. We just deal the damage to his hero. So I'm not convinced that it's gonna be easy for him to get rid of all the Knife Jugglers. Okay. Attacks our hero. Yeah, okay, so he ignores the Knife Jugglers and he's just hoping that Ragnar's hit something good. So he kills the Knife Juggler. Well, this is not... It's not perfect. We can play the Arcane Missiles and just hope that we get lucky. Which I think makes sense. Because we're not gonna get a better situation to play it. Okay. We're just doing as much damage as we can to his hero. Okay, yeah, so he's gaining 5 more. It's starting to look really bad. We kind of needed to finish him off that turn. Because now he's playing an Armor Smith and gaining extra armor when his Alexstrasza is taking damage. Oh wait, is he actually... No, he's not gonna leave. Oh, what? That's... He's leaving the Leroy Jenkins alive, which seems absolutely insane. Yeah, he didn't have to do that, and now he's gonna lose the game. I don't know what he was thinking, but now we actually get to win. So the Frostbolt, his hero is now frozen, and we can use the Ice Lance to deal 4 damage. That was an undeserved win, but hey. Yeah, I don't like the Knife Juggler was not even... It wasn't that great for us in that situation, because even if, I don't know, if we get a minion that we want to play, yeah, it didn't do anything, and he didn't need to be concerned with keeping Alexstrasza alive. It wasn't relevant in that situation, so I'm not sure why he went for that. So we're gonna play a bit more with this deck.
Jaina versus Valera.
I make my own. You asked for it.
Rogue is probably the worst matchup for this deck. Because we are trying to kind of throw our cards at our opponent and trade our cards for damage. But Rogue is really good at sort of reversing that, using their cards to trade with our cards without taking damage, because they have cards like Backstab that just easily that deal 2 damage to an undamaged minion, but they don't have to spend mana on it. So typically the Rogue is it's too easy for it to get rid of the things that we put on the board for this deck to work. That doesn't mean it's impossible, but oh yeah, for those who don't know, Rogue hero power is that you pay 2 to equip a dagger with so it's a weapon with 1 attack and 2 durability.
Hello.
So we go for the most aggressive line against Rogue. So we get the Sorcerer's Apprentice, play the Arcane Missiles, and that raises the attack of our Mana Worm. So trying to get as much damage out of the cards that we have before the Rogue gets all the tools they need to remove our minions. So if either of these stay on the board, I'm kind of happy. If one of them dies, that's sort of okay. So, okay, it seems like both of them are going to die, but at least he had to use extra cards to do it. Oh, but, okay, this might be really bad for us. Yeah, it's Van Cleef. So this is what I... now the play makes sense. So this is a Van Cleef guy. He has a combo power that for every other card you play this turn, he gets 2 extra health and 2 extra attack. And we got Backstab, played for free. I killed our apprentice, then play the preparation that makes his next spell cost 3 less. Then he could play Eviscerate for free and kill the Mana Worm. And that all looked fine so far, but then he played the coin as well. So that's 4 spells played for free into Van Cleef, getting 8 extra attack and 8 extra health. Which of course is not something we can deal with easily. So now I'm not... It feels like we're already lost. This is what I'm talking about with the Rogue. It just absolutely demolishes the way we want to be playing. And he's just ignoring our minions, which is probably correct. Because he can kill us faster with this than we can kill him. Okay, this is fine. So he plays Conceal that gives his minions stealth. Stealth means that they cannot be targeted by a card or attacked. But it's not like we could attack Van Cleef anyway. So we're fine with this.
Put this apple on your head. Hey, give me that.
I'm saving the Frostbolt in case we draw Ice Lands later. Just trying to deal as much damage as we can with the cards that we have. And by using our hero power, we are... we're dealing damage in a way where that doesn't spend cards. We can also use the Frostbolt later. Like if we get if he attacks our hero with Van Cleef here, maybe we use Frostbolt on Van Cleef just to stop Van Cleef from attacking for 1 turn. Could be a good idea. Right, so he attacked our hero. So it seems like we're going... We absolutely have to do that to stop Van Cleef from attacking. But the question is, what do we do with the rest of our time? So it's either playing the Mana Rim and using the Fire Blast, Or he's playing the Arcane Intellect to draw 2 cards. I'm just gonna try to get the damage in. It's not ideal. It may be that freezing Van Cleef is something we have to do for more turns by playing Arcane Intellect, getting a lance that can then freeze him again. Yeah, not sure. At least he's thinking, so it's not totally obvious what to do. And I guess it's obvious by now, but when this rope arrives, that's because there's a time limit on the turns. Okay, so he played the Azure Drake, and it looks like, well, and he spent all his mana, but with Rogue you never know if they can play more cards because they have all these cards that cost 0 to play. So his turn may not be over here. So if he passes here and we top deck a Fireball, okay, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's why I'm saying backstab is a big reason why this matchup does not work for us. Okay. So I don't think there is a way, even theoretically, that we can kill him this turn. If we play Arcane Intellect, we can get a Frostbolt and an Ice Lance. If we play them both, our mana will mess at 5. Actually, that would be a kill, but we would have to be extremely lucky. If we get an Ice Lance, we can freeze Van Cleef. We could also get an Ice Lance with Azure Drake.
I wonder.
But if we want to maximize the odds of drawing it, we have to play the Arcane Intellect. Let's try that. Okay. Yeah, that did not work out.
You win this.
Terrible matchup.
Your blade.
All right, I'm gonna take a quick break and then be back. All right. Welcome back. Yeah, I wanna play the Burn Mage a bit more. We're just gonna chill with the Burn Mage. I think so. The Burn Mage deck is not one of the most powerful decks, but it still can win games at a high level. It depends on the matchup, but it's more of a for fun kind of deck. I just like the style of play. Yeah, the I guess the most common decks or most powerful decks you see at the top level of Classic is like some kind of druid deck that I just played, but usually a bit more aggressive in how it's built. The Sue Warlock deck is common. There's an aggressive Paladin deck that is common.
There's nothing I
The Rogue deck that we just played against, the Miracle Rogue, is very strong. And the Control Warriors are very strong, that we also saw today. So up against Paladin, I usually assume that they are playing the aggressive Paladin deck with a lot of small minions. But you can also build a very slow, methodical Paladin deck, control Paladin deck, that is meant to... That tries to just grind the game out, gain value from powerful cards, and slowly win the game by playing strong minions, like legendary cards, and by using your hero power. So Paladin has a hero power that summons a 1/1 Silverhand Recruit. This guy. So if you get to use that infinite times, you have infinite minions. But of course, it's kind of expensive for just a 1/1, and you don't always have the time. But a controlled warrior paladin is trying to slow the game down so much that you do have the time. So this time I'm gonna risk not using my Fire Blast and just play the Leper Gnome. And it paid off. So the Knife Juggler hit the Silverhand Recruit, which means that the Silverhand Recruit can trade himself for one of the gnomes. And our opponent already used the coin. So there is this spell called Consecration that deals 2 damage to all our characters. That is a paladin spell. So that could kill our entire board, but it costs 4 mana. So he couldn't play it last turn because he already used the coin. And so yeah, we hit the forest here with our hero power, and I'm going to try to play around. I'm gonna try to play around Consecration by trading one of our minions away. That means Consecration is going to kill less if he has it. Because that is the option that I'm the most worried about. And if he does that now, it's not as bad. We still do 2 damage from the Leper Gnome. We gain 1 of the cards back, so we're really only losing 1 card relative to him. And he has to spend his entire turn to do it. And then we can play the Asia Drake. So he plays True Silver Champion again instead. It's a weapon that... when it has 4 attack and 2 durability and restores 2 health to him when he attacks. We're just gonna keep attacking with these until he decides to commit the Consecration. We want to save the mirror images until after he commits his big spells. Okay, so he's playing Wild Pyromancer and combining it with this Holy Light to heal himself. And Wild Pyromancer, he deals 1 damage to all minions after you cast a spell.
I wonder.
Okay, I kind of want to force him to use Consecration, so I'm going to make this play. Okay, the Cold Light Oracle. With the Mirror Image. If he has Consecration, then yeah, so he needs to play it now. And then yeah, he's using his hero power. I'm gonna play another Oracle. We get rid of this guy. So question is if we play the Mirror Image to play around True Silver Champion, or if we don't to play around Consecration. Consecration would be worse for us than the True Silver Champion. Not sure. I guess playing Mirror Image, it also plays around another card called Stampeding Kodo. I'm gonna try that. But if he has Consecration, it's bad. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. They play this guy as well. Okay, so now I'm trying to figure out if we can kill him. So that's... So I can deal 12. But 12 is not enough. If I play these two, I can do... So I could kill this Baron Geddon with the Frostbolt. Or I just deal 10 to his hero. But if I just deal 10 to his hero, he might just heal. And then let the Baron trigger again. And I don't like that, so I'll try getting rid of the Baron. And I still keep the Fireball in hand. And now he kind of needs to get rid of my board or lose. Oh, that's frustrating. He has so much healing in this deck. This is like the worst deck for this to face. I take it back. Like this is worse than the for the rogue. And Ice Lance, but we don't have the Frostbolts anymore. Yeah, maybe I fucked this up. Question is if we save the Fireball, or are we really in a rush to play the Fireballs? We could be. If we draw something like Arcane Intellect, we want to be able to play our spells right away next turn. Yeah, but he should still have more healing, so I think that would put the nail in the coffin if he plays... Yeah, I'm just gonna concede. This Guardian of Kings is a minion, but he also heals him. I'm pretty sure that seals the deal. Yeah, I'm just gonna concede. It's well played by him. So this was the unusual kind of Paladin deck. Like a lot of Paladin decks are really aggressive. This one that he's playing is incredibly defensive. And with the deck we're playing, we really prefer to be playing the aggressive kind of Paladin.
You asked for
Okay.
it.
So warrior, I've had a lot of success with warrior using this deck. Against warrior, I mean. So this is Yeah, against warrior, you're worried about the axe that they can play, and he can coin it out. You're also worried, if you play the Lepernon, you're worried about a card called Cruel Taskmaster. It's a minion that can deal 1 damage when you play it. So I'm gonna start with the Worm, because the Lepernon is vulnerable to more things, whereas the Worm is just vulnerable to the axe. Now, if he doesn't have the axe right away, this is going to be good, because then we can play both Mirror Image and Lepernon next turn. However, if he does have the axe, we're kind of sad. Okay, so this is wonderful. He didn't play an axe. And so we're going to start being aggressive. So I'm using the Mirror Image instead of playing the other Lepernon in an attempt to be a little more defensive in case he gets the axe. Like maybe he just wanted to wait a turn. That's kind of unlikely, but he could still draw the axe. And also, if we play another Lepernon, we're more vulnerable to the card called Whirlwind. Whirlwind is the spell that costs 1 that deals 1 damage to everything, to every minion. So that would kill both of the Lepernons. And if I play the Lepernon now, it would actually kill 3 of our minions. So I'm gonna play Cold Light Oracle instead, because it would at least survive the Whirlwind if he has it. And I'm just gonna attack with those minions. And then after he plays the Whirlwind, I could play the Lepernon. Yeah, so he's playing the Whirlwind now. And the Cruel Taskmaster to finish the Cold Light Oracle off. So we want to get rid of the Taskmaster, so we play the missiles. And as long as it... Yeah, okay. As long as it deals 1 damage, we could finish him off with the hero power, but we don't even need to do that. So we use the hero power on his hero instead. Alright, he just plays a taunt minion. We are fine with this. We just play our Azure Drake. Gets us a card. And we don't attack with the gnome. So if he attacks the Mirror Image now, we could next turn play the Mana Worm, use Frostbolt to get rid of his Shield Master, and then use Hero Power. But now he's already killed. He's already killed our Drake with this Mortal Strike, which is a really unusual include, I must say. Maybe that means he's playing a different kind of warrior. I usually don't see this card. But okay.
What to do? What to do?
So we can get rid of the Shield Master with our Fireball. And we could also play the Mana Worm then. It's not perfect, because we would like to play the Azure Drake this turn. But if we leave the Shield Master on the board, we can't play the Worm. So I'm gonna try to do it that way. And this also means that the Lepernon gets to deal damage this turn, and possibly next turn if he doesn't kill it. him playing shield block is really good news.
To me.
Because he's not really contesting the board then. I do want to keep the Frostbolt, even though it's tempting to just play it now. So we just attack his hero and use hero power. So this means he can kill our Leper Gnome and get a card with Acolyte of Pain. But it's not the end of the world. And then if he doesn't kill the Azure Drake, we can do a lot of damage next turn. We could play Thalnos, Frostbolt, and Ice Lance. Okay, yeah, it is a very different kind of warrior deck, clearly. So he's playing this. It's not the typical control warrior. So this Warsong Commander gives his minions with 3 or less attack a charge when he plays them. So he's looking to trade some minions here. So usually typically when you play the Warsong Commander, that means you're playing some kind of combo where you're trying to kill them in one turn with a card called Raging Worgen. But since he's playing it now, it means he's sort of desperate to just clear the board. Because we put him under pressure, and now he feels he needs to interact. But he's trading very well, so he's doing a good job. Okay, so I think the plan is still that we want to deal a bunch of damage with this Frostbolt Ice Lance combo. We can play the Arcane Intellect first. So if we play this with Thalnos, it's going to be 9 plus 2 from the Mana Worm, essentially 11. We still have the Fireball then.
What to do? What to do?
But we could actually do this in a different way. I could kill the commander with the Mana Worm, play the Knife Juggler, play the Thalnos, and then play the Arcane Missiles. I think that's better. It means we're trading better, and then we can probably do more damage in the future rather than... Oh. Well, that's very unfortunate. All of our missiles hit the hero, and none of them hit the Armor Smith. We just needed one to hit the Armor Smith. I think it's still fine, but that's very unlucky. Because this Mana Worm was at 4 attack. That's huge. Okay, this is such a weird game. Because now I'm considering using a Fireball on this Gurubashi Berserker. Because it's really in the way of my Knife Juggler. But on the other hand, so he has 21 life. If I play Frostbolt and Ice Lance, that's 7. With the other Frostbolts, that's 10, 16. So we don't really have enough damage to just kill him now. So I feel like we have to fight for the board. So I'm gonna try to do that by getting rid of the Berserker. But yeah, now things are not going the way we want them to be going. But it's cool to see Gurubashi Berserker. I don't see that a lot. And I guess it makes some sense because this one will gain charge from the Warsong Commander. And he's playing another one.
My shield for Argus.
This is the weirdest warrior deck of all time. I'm telling you. So we have to draw cards. Yeah, what to do here? I mean, I could get rid of the Berserker
What to do?
and get rid of the Defender of Argus. Playing the Oracle seems premature. Yeah, this is not perfect. But we're trying to stay on the board, and if we don't kill the minions, then we can't. So it's not great, but it's worth it if these minions survive. And we can still use the Cold Light Oracle to draw for our less burst damage cards in Leroy Jenkins and the Fireball. We gotta destroy everything, of course. So I guess he's having a complicated turn.
It's time for a little blood. Let the pain speak to me.
Alright, but he managed to do everything on time. And seems really bad for us. I'm gonna play the Oracle. One thing you can do sometimes when they have the Acolyte is to make them draw too many cards, but he still has too many cards left.
What to do?
So I'm just gonna
Someday I'll be just like you.
play my minions and deal damage to him. Looks like we're losing this one. I need to show a deck that wins, I guess.
Armor made to fit.
My shield for Argus.
This is yeah, the typical warrior is not as good at dealing with the board that this deck creates. But this warrior is dealing with it like really well. And yeah, I'm not gonna get through that, so we're gonna concede this one as well. But I want to get another win with this deck, so we'll keep going. If we can get a win, then we'll be happy.
Jaina versus Gul'dan.
Your soul shall be mine.
You asked for it.
Alright, so up against Warlock going second is difficult. But not impossible. And Arcane Missiles helps. These two don't help a lot. I think Thalnos can be good with Arcane Missiles, so I'm gonna go with this.
Why do you call?
Alright, so he has a Void Walker, 1/3 taunt minion, which makes me want to play the Knife Juggler, because the Knife Juggler is threatening to trade favorably against the Void Walker. I guess maybe I don't need to, given the fact that I have Arcane Missiles. If the Void Walker kills the Leper Gnome, goes to 1 health,
Time runs out on me.
I could play Thalnos and Arcane Missiles and save the coin. I'm not sure. Oh, we're going for the Knife Juggler.
Put this apple on your head.
And this we are okay with.
Hey, catch!
So now we can kill this one. And if we play the Mana Worm, that's 1 knife from the Knife Juggler, and Arcane Missiles could be 3 more. That's probably killing the Knife Juggler, and then we're in a really good position. Come on. Yeah, nice. So we just needed one of them to hit, and now we're in a good spot. So our Knife Juggler survived. We have a Mana Worm that's at 2 attack. It's looking really nice. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but yeah, Warlock has a hero power that you can lose 2 life, and you draw a card and you take 2 damage, and it costs 2 like the other hero powers. So here we can play minions, and our Knife Juggler might just get rid of this. Yeah, our Knife Juggler is really doing good work this game. All right, we're finally getting the game that we wanted. It should be really hard to lose from here. And he's helping us here by dealing a lot of damage to his hero. So let's see. We can deal 9 right away with the things that we have on the board. With the hero power. That's not enough. And we're really not in a rush. So we could try just trading here. Try playing the Leper Gnome. Yeah, and if we hit this, we can use hero power. And that should be game over. Really, regardless of what he has in his deck.
My shield for Argus.
Yep, so this is an easy win. So that shows the deck can win games without our opponent fucking up completely. But yeah, maybe you need a good start to really show how nice it is. All right, let's do one more. Maybe Maybe we can get lucky one more time.
Jaina versus Jaina.
You asked for it. Oh, it is on.
So usually when you play against mage, they are not playing the mage archetype that I'm playing. They are playing what is called freeze mage, which is a really slow mage that tries to slow the game down and then play Alexstrasza to put you at 15 health. That's a legendary minion that costs 9 and it can set the health of a hero to 15, and then you finish them off with burst damage. So we want a really fast start, even more against that kind of deck. So I'm gonna mulligan this entire hand, but because all we're really looking for against that is low cost minions, and it looks like our prayers have been fully answered. They have both a mana worm and a leper gnome.
Hello. Hello, stranger.
And this is really good, because we can now play the mana worm, play the coin, and give the mana worm extra attack, and then we can also play the leper gnome. Because against the freeze mage, I feel like you need to start dealing damage fast, because they have a secret called Ice Block that makes it so that when they would take fatal damage, they become immune to damage for the rest of the turn. And that makes it really hard to kill them later in the game. So the fact that they're playing Sorcerer's Apprentice, it could mean that it's not Freeze Mage. But that's not necessarily... So some Freeze Mages will play this card. But then also some faster mages will play this card. So we don't really know. I want to preserve our Sorcerer's Apprentice, so I'm going to use the Fireball to get rid of their Sorcerer's Apprentice. But if it is...
Someday I'll be just like you.
Huh, okay. There is also a kind of mage that tries to get low on life, and then it plays Molten Giants that cost less the more damage you have taken. So you sort of wait for your opponents to deal enough damage to you, and then you can play the... Oh. Okay, never mind. If he's playing Counterspell, then it's not a Freeze Mage. So I'm just gonna trade these then. Yeah, I don't know what mage it is, but it's not... I'm pretty sure it's not Freeze Mage if you're playing Counterspell. Okay, so it's some weird mage trying to play some secret-themed mage. I keep playing this Kirintor mage that makes your next secret cost 0. There are some other cards that synergize with secrets. They just haven't been that good. So we are completely, apart from the fact that we know that he's trying to play cards that synergize with secrets, we are kind of in the dark as to what he's playing. See, okay, so Polymorph can transform a minion into a sheep. A pretty funny card in my opinion. So I'm still, because I don't know what he has, I'm not gonna play all my minions, because there are spells that deal damage to all my minions, like Flame Strike. and then he could kill everything I played. And I'd rather preserve the Geomancer in that case. But it could be wrong, because if I play too conservatively, it might be that we just are not dealing enough damage to win with our deck. Alright. Looks like he really doesn't want us to have a Sorcerer's Apprentice either. So I don't know. Either he's not playing Flame Strike or he's just... He really wants us to play more minions before he uses it. I'm just gonna risk it. Trade the sheep hair just in case. Play the mirror image. Something like that. Probably mirror image was... I'm not sure if it was... What I was thinking is he can get rid of a mirror image somehow. And then he would be able to attack the worm. Okay, his deck is super weird. Probably there is no... Flame Strike? Okay, so this is going to be our best opportunity to play these spells, I think. So we'll play them now. Attack with the Frost Worm. We'll trade the Kobold for the Ooze, because he would be able to use this hero power to kill the Kobold anyway. And attacking the hero would just deal 2 damage. So I think this is the best. And yeah. Oh, he is playing Alexstrasza anyway. But we have this mirror image protecting our Mana Worm. And the fact that he's so low on hit points means we still have a decent chance here. If there is more counterspell in the deck, which is a very rare card to see. Oh, there we actually now we have the Flame Strike.
We have no secrets.
If that is another counterspell, funnily enough, that is really bad for us. Maybe I should have, you know, saved saved a mirror image just in case, so that that can be countered by the counterspell. So what I can do here is I can use hero power on him, and if he doesn't kill me next turn, and he doesn't have ice block or ice barrier, we're just hoping that this is a counterspell, then we can use Leroy Jenkins and hero power to kill him. But it's not looking great, because I feel like he should be able to deal lethal damage here. I guess he's not, because he's playing Antonidas instead. Okay. Well, so we're just gonna have to see which secret he is playing. Guess we can play the Knife Juggler for fun. It doesn't matter.
Put this apple on your head.
Thank you.
It looks like he's confident that he's gonna win. That's usually when you say well played.
Time's up. Let's do this.
Oh, it's Vaporize. Oh, so it was actually the other way around. So Vaporize is one that destroys a minion when it attacks his hero. So if we had a Firebolt, that would have actually killed him. So well played by him. All right, so I think that's going to conclude the Hearthstone stream for today. Hope it was a decent intro to the game if you haven't played before, and that the gameplay was somewhat interesting. We got to see 2 decks this time, but yeah, if I make more of these, it's going to be the same idea, just kind of relaxed gameplay. Maybe I show the decks real quick, and talk about strategy and stuff a little bit. Yeah, so thank you for watching, and I'm on Monday. There is going to be another regular Harry Potter stream if you're interested in that. So yeah, I hope to see you there, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.